Okay, well, as the Menendez brothers case moves forward, we are joined by our legal expert, Josh Ritter. Josh, we have quite a few questions. We were talking to you during the commercial break. One of them is about what the point of today's hearing was, but I also found it somewhat interesting that our district attorney, Nathan Hochman, actually argued the case before the judge. So did you find that interesting, and what was the point of today?
Yeah, you don't ever see that. For the actual elected DA to take it upon himself to go into court and argue something himself, I cannot think of the last time we've actually seen that. Usually the DA assigns his deputies to it, they handle the case, but he has obviously taken this very personally and he's invested, as we can see from those interviews that he's given. The point of today is a great question. Initially, the point of today was to come back and argue this motion to have the DA's office recused, but then before that even got started, Garagos withdrew that motion. So I think now the thinking is let's just go ahead and proceed. They don't feel that the DA is friendly to their cause. They probably felt that the AG would be just as unfriendly to their cause and might as well just take their chances with the judge, who's been objectively receptive to some of their arguments.
So today, a little bit was made of this risk assessment. The brothers were deemed moderate risk if they were to be released, but then the judge really didn't make a big deal out of it. Should we make a big deal out of the judge's reaction? What do you think when you start hearing all of that in today's proceedings?
I think if the assessment had come back as low risk, then Garagos and his team would be making a big deal out of it. The fact that it came back as moderate risk kind of splits evenly and doesn't really inform anyone, but it's certainly not helpful to the Menendez brothers. And the fact that it didn't come back high risk is certainly not something that the DA's office is going to highlight. But I think the judge is showing that, listen, I'm going to base my decision on things other than just this risk assessment. But I think it does show us why there was a lot of argument and perhaps consternation on the part of the Menendez brothers with this new risk assessment, that it wasn't entirely favorable to their cause.
Well, this is one of those cases. It seems like it's going to be in the headlines. I mean, we are all fascinated. We just can't, we are all fascinated by these brothers and then the idea that they might be released and these hearings going on and after on. It seems like it is a lot of PR. Today, again, it seems like, what was the point of today? Except for it brought it into the public's thought process. They're going to have a hearing next week. How many hearings how many until we actually get a decision here?
I feel like I've said the words, the next hearing will be the time that we decide this so many times, but we keep coming back. Now it sounds like everything, all the preliminary issues have been taken care of. The judge has said he wants to actually hear the merits, which we've not talked about yet. The actual merits of the resentencing this coming Tuesday and Wednesday. I did know that they limited themselves to those 2 days, and actually the Menendez team has said that they're not going to call as many witnesses as they had planned on calling. So hopefully we'll get all the work that we need to get done on by next week and have a decision on this case.
So he would actually say something as a ruling next week, or would it be, I'll take all of this under advisement?
It could very well be that. It could be, I've heard everything, you've made all your arguments, I'll issue a ruling at a later time, but you would think, or you would hope, that he's heard everything he needs to hear, and these arguments are just kind of the final touches, and he might give us a decision.
Okay.
So many eyes will be watching it, though. Josh Ritter, thank you again for joining us. We always appreciate your insight.
Of course.